Yeah, that'd be good.
All the moving pieces. Here we go. All right, we are live on Facebook and a few other places. Hello, everybody. My name is Ben Fairfield. If I don't know you, I should know you. I want to know you, but I'm excited to be coming to you today with Mr. Don Hobbs, President of Success Enterprises. Don, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ben?
I'm doing awesome. Now,
Nice.
we've got some fun stuff to bring to them today.
I know.
We're going to talk specifically about the dirty little secrets of leverage, because that seems to be the buzz right now, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leverage is always really a conversation, but I think it's interesting to see how little people understand about how to get leverage. And we'll go through that today. I think that'll be fun.
I love it. Well, before we do that, just in case some people, which I don't think there's a lot of them, but just in case some people connected to me don't know who you are, give us your background in a quick rundown. Who's Don Hobbs?
Oh my gosh, I'm actually in the process of sharing this really quickly, so you're going to have to. Can you stretch for just a second? That's really funny. Okay, no, it's not going to happen. We'll send it out later. Yeah. So yeah, my past. So started my career early on. I've been in the personal development space for since I was a pup. I joined Jim Rohn's company. I saw his program when I was 18 years old. Fell in love with the man. If you don't know who Jim Rohn is, I'm sorry. I'm really going to just say you got to find him and find his stuff. If you do know, you know why I'm so excited about him. He was like a father figure to me. But I got a chance to, at 18, attend all his programs. And then I said, hey, I want to work for you. And I got a chance to do that. And then about 3 months later, this big gawky kid, I've got pictures of him somewhere. Tony Robbins was 17. He joined us and we got a chance to play together for a long time in that space, which was really an incredible environment. Rohn was such a gifted speaker, wordsmith, philosopher. I mean, just such a great place as a foundation. And before I left there, I became president of this company and was there for 2.5 years as president, 8 years overall. And then I started a little company in the real estate space, some of your space, that many people would know me from, Hobbs Herder. We were mostly an advertising agency, and we taught agents how to do personal branding, personal marketing. How do you build a business? And by the way, one of the leverage points we taught them was marketing. How do you build a business that's marketing based, where people are calling you instead of you calling them? And we did that for a lot of years. We were putting about 50,000 people a year through programs, live programs. And so in those days, we actually had the ability to go to live programs. And so we did that for a lot of years. And then I got a chance to worked with Gary Keller for a short while when he wrote his One Thing book. We built a company around that called Maps Business, and built around the certification and all of the pieces around that book, The One Thing. And then more recently, the love of my life had joined a little company called EXP, and I got a chance to join her in business. And then I got a call from this guy, this crazy, wonderful, creative guy named Glenn Sanford, who actually was the founder of EXP, and also now the CEO of Success. And he said, Don, I'm thinking about acquiring this iconic publication. Ben, I mean, you've been a subscriber for years, right? So
Yep.
I mean, this iconic property. It's a 124-year-old magazine, which is staggering. They used to call it New Thought, not Personal Growth, but New Thought. And he said, we're going to look to acquire this, but I'd like to see if you want to be part of it with me. And I said, yeah, hello. I mean, I was reading this magazine when I was literally 18, 19 years old. It was our business Bible. And when it came every month, we were like, I'm on it. So it was very exciting, and what a great opportunity for us to take such a brand, like the biggest brand in personal development ever, I mean, through history, and then to be able to do fun things with it, to do more. And so that's where we're at now. We're having a lot of fun with that, and a lot of cool things coming out. So that was probably longer than you wanted, but that's
No, it's good. It's good because that all plays into the bigger picture, right? Because our paths crossed in the real estate space,
right.
And now we get the opportunity to work together to do some big things and to make some big impact. And we've spent a lot of time together, even over the weekends, doing some mind maps. And if people saw all the stuff that we are itching to get out to the world, I think it would give them a headache. So we're going to focus specifically on just one piece of that. And before we make that announcement, I want to talk about leverage, because leverage, like you said, is commonly misunderstood, desperately needed. And so in our talks, in our kind of masterminds around this, we've really kind of put it into 4 major buckets. You want to go through what those are really quickly for those watching?
Absolutely. Yeah, this has been a big deal for me to understand through the years. And I kind of came up with a little bit of this model. Of course, I loved the enhancements because you and I are playing so well together on this. But I always see the model as 4 pieces. The first of which starts with me. So it's, the first leverage point is, can I get better? Can I, grow myself? Can I become a bigger capacity? We'll come back and talk to these. So I'm just going to run through them, kind of give the framework for the conversation. Second one would be about marketing. And I'm a big believer, if a business is not marketing based, it's not a business. It's a sales career. It's a job. It's a lot of things that are interesting, could be very profitable. I mean, God knows salespeople can make a lot of money, but nothing like a business owner who can leverage themselves through marketing. So the second one is marketing. Third one is systems and structures and the processes. And we'll get deeper into that. And then the fourth one is people. And no one succeeds alone. So we know that we've got to have people in our lives. We know that we've got so many things today that whether we're talking business or whether we're talking personal, so many people are there to support our lives and the lifestyle we want. And so there's many places to get your life back, your time back, or as we would say, the time of your life, right? So that's where I really see this going today. And those are the things that I think will be probably the most important to people, because when they start to realize that time is the only thing you can't get more of. You can, I mean, you can borrow some back, but you can, Tony Robbins called me one night and he said, my friend, he said, I've got everything I could possibly ever imagine. And he listed his, obviously Sage and his beautiful kids and grandkids and this business empire that he's built and this stage that he performs on, and people that adore him and love in his life and hobbies and passions and homes all over the world and everything you could ever imagine. He said, the one thing I can't get more of is time. So he was going to do something for us, and he said, yeah, I'll do it for you. And he just wants you to know I love you. And that's what I'm telling you, is I can't get any more of this. So that's how much you're important to me. And it was flattering, but it was also a key point, because no matter who you are, no matter how many billions you've got, you still can't buy time. You can only buy it back, right? You can only buy it back.
And that's the key distinction, right? You and I've coached for a long time, coached people in various industries. And it's interesting that everybody gets to a certain ceiling and then they're at the end of themselves. They can't
Totally.
do anymore. And so
Yeah.
then they have to make the conscious decision, I'm going to buy back time. I'm going to take the money I'm making, reinvest it into the different types of leverage, people, systems, and the stuff we're
Right.
talking about today.
Right.
Because that whole point of that is to be able to buy back that time and leverage that or send that work to other people to do. So that's why this is so important. I know we've got a lot of people watching live right now, and I know that's why this resonates with everybody. So let's dive into it. What's the first bucket you want to go to of those four?
Well, let's start with the top of the funnel, which is you. So we'll start in the personal growth part. I joined Jim Rohn. I took copious notes, 19 pages of notes. First night I saw him, one of the things he said was, for things to change for you, you've got to change. We'd love to look at how everything else outside of us should change, how everybody should change, if they would only change something, all that, it's really up to you. But one of my early trainers, when I was just in sales and I was actually failing, quite frankly, for the first 18 months to almost 2 years, flailing in that company. And one of my trainers was an engineer by trade and a salesperson later, and made him very good because he was very systematic about what he did. But what he said to me, Ben, was so critical. He said, you're like a pipe. He said, you get to a place where you've got some flow through, your life flow, right? You're flowing through it. But if it's a pipe, it's, water. I mean, people are bursting pipes right now in all the snow and stuff that's going on, because the pipes, right, they're too small. They start expanding with the ice, and boom, they burst. And he said, when you start getting that to capacity on a pipe, it bursts. In a human, the heart bursts, the head bursts, you get an aneurysm, you have a stroke. I mean, it's not good. When we start feeling too much pressure, we start pushing more than we can. And he said, the one thing you can do is expand you. And not only does it help you health-wise, because you can push the same life through it or a bigger life through it, but you're not stressed. You can enjoy. It's like you're not at capacity. You're still flowing things through. And so it made a lot of sense to me. And I really love the idea of how we could grow us. Jim Rohn said years ago, you can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. And if you stay how you are, you'll always have what you got. So we've got to change us. It's the main piece. And I mean, this. It's the personal growth aspect that makes life more worthwhile. It's where we get our joy. It's where we see our expansion of our lives, the people in our lives, the ability to give to more. And if we don't expand us, it's very challenging. So,
well, and on that point, Don, so a mentor shared with me, and I couldn't agree more with you. On that point, a mentor shared with me years ago, and it impacted me at a deep level. And it's affected from that point forward how I grew businesses, how I grew my own business, grew businesses for other people. He said this, he said, as a leader, now whether this be a leader in a business, leader in your home, leader in whatever capacity, but as a leader, the size of your world must always be getting bigger in order to make room for other leaders to come join you along that journey. And if your world doesn't get big enough, there's not room for them to see the ability to grow their own inside of yours, and they'll leave you. And how tragic is that, where we've had businesses and people have incredibly talented leaders leave them, not because they didn't like the person that they reported to and were helping, but because they didn't see that person growing. They saw that person getting complacent, hitting a ceiling, and all of a sudden that meant a ceiling on everybody below them. And that's not okay for achievers, right? And so that's precisely the biggest, in my opinion, what I'm coaching, the biggest thing that I see is personal development and growth is not an option. It can't be optional.
No, and it's interesting you say that, because what's the old adage? Change is absolute. Change will happen. It's growth that's questionable. And that's where we have a chance to step in and say, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to being bigger and better and greater, and really pursuing skills consciously and getting better consciously, not just having life slip. Because again, you'll get to 40 years old and you'll have 40 years of experience, or not, maybe, 15, 20, 18 years, 18, 25 years, and then repeated a bunch of those same ones over and over again. But the bottom line is it's still slow. And if you want to leverage, reading books about people who've done it before you, getting around training programs, having a coach, getting around people that can actually influence that, it changes everything and changes it fast.
Absolutely. It's exponential, right? So
it is. It is.
Speaking of exponential, let's segue into the second bucket, which I believe is marketing, right? And this is your wheelhouse. This is what you excel at. So I probably don't have much to contribute on this one, but what do you see from a marketing standpoint? You've taught this for decades. How does marketing play into leverage, or how should it?
Well, we'll be short on this because we're not going to be able to do a marketing lesson. That's not possible in this short of format. But what I would say is this: marketing is you where you're when you're not there. It's you every place you can't be. It's you anytime, day or night. It's you in expansion because marketing takes your place. So again, if you're a realtor and you're door knocking, if you're in sales and you're making phone calls, if you're whatever your business is, you're putting out emails. There's certain things you can do in great proportion. There's other things that take a lot of labor, and if it's labor intensive, and by the way, what also happens in the world of, let's say, sales, and a lot of people, whether they see themselves as salespeople, we're all salespeople. When we have that capacity reached, we can only do so much. We hit a peak, and by the way, we get to capacity, and it works. It works, and then we have no more time. But now we're babysitting the transactions, the deals, the orders that we've just taken, all that stuff, and we stop prospecting. And so what happens is we've gone up, and then we come down. And then we have nothing but time on our hands because we have no new deals. And so now we're out doing the same thing. And that peaks and valleys cycle has been the eternal cycle of the sales, even the sales professional, for the most part, for as many years as I've been around. And that's a few. So what I'm going to say is marketing is about how do we not outbound, how we call them, how we get them, how do we get them calling us? How do we get them coming to us? It's interesting. I mean, I'm in Puerto Rico, so we don't have a lot of some of the fast food chains and things. But I mean, Taco Bell never calls you and says, "Hey, come and have lunch with us today." I mean, Nike never calls and says, "Hey, we took a video of you and your shoes are pathetic, dude. Get in here and get a new pair." Nobody does that, right? But when we think about athletic shoes, that the number one name in the athletic footwear brand is Nike. The number one brand in all of sports apparel actually is Nike. So what you start to realize is the brand means more, and that's where people miss it. Is they're so busy doing prospecting efforts that they never build a brand, and the brand is what makes you bigger next year, bigger the year after, even still bigger the year after that. And in time, it becomes the reason that everybody flocks to you. They see you as an advantage for them. They see you as the answer to them. And when that happens, I'm not questioning your price. I don't question how you operate. I mean, it's basically like, come and do whatever it is that magic is that you do it for us. And
Right.
I don't care whether you're in financial services or real estate or any kind of product or service. That's what's missing.
I love that. I love that. All right. So we've talked about personal development. We've talked about
Yeah.
marketing and systems. Now, this is where I like geeking out. This is a
This is
wheelhouse,
you, man.
right?
This is you. Exactly.
So, but systems are an integral part. And what's interesting, though, is that a lot of times systems and systematizing that thought process doesn't come naturally to entrepreneurial people. It doesn't mean it can't, but it's not as natural, maybe. So when you think of systems in terms of leverage, I've got thoughts, but I want to hear yours because they're here to hear you. So what are your thoughts on systems?
Well, I want to hear you, but I'll tell you, I just got a great definition from somebody yesterday. I love acronyms. I'm a big fan of acronyms. I've never heard one for system. And John Shin told me yesterday, system represents save yourself some time, energy, and money. And that's what a system is. And I was like, well, how perfect is that? Tomorrow we're going to talk about leverage. And that is exactly what it is, right? It's going to save you some time, energy, or money because when you have a thing that you've done more than once, so let's say twice, 3 times. So by 3 times you go, dude, I need a system for this. Because it should take no brain power to have to go, wow, I've done this before, but I don't have a system for it. It's all in my head. And
Yep.
so the minute you can translate that. So I want to hear what you got to say, because I actually think you're probably better at this, and Allison will agree with you that I'm not. She'll tell you, I'm not the best at this. I'm learning a lot by hanging around with the smart guy named Glenn Sanford, but I'm not the guy, right?
No, I mean, systems from the beginning, I will give a little plug. I get nothing for this, but if people don't know systems, but they're understanding the importance of them, the E-Myth Revisited, Michael Gerber, you need to read that book. Right, that's one of the books that really kind of helped me connect how I'm wired and how it can play into or should play into the business world, right? Because you and I talked about it, Glenn, that self-employed people,
I'm done.
most of them actually just own. Most of
I
them,
heard that.
most of them just own their job. They don't
do.
own a business. They own their job because they're working in it, not
Right.
on it,
On it.
right? And so
Right.
systems are the bridge or the ladder, if you will, that help people get out of just working in a business and taking a bigger perspective or scope and working on it.
You know that we gave copies away. Do you know that was part of my program for years? So we gave away 10 years of books, tens of thousands each year, probably more than 100,000 copies of that book for the very reason you're talking about it, because it was really the first place that people got to see that it's not being good at something that makes you successful in the business. It's being good at the processes and systems around it. McDonald's isn't the best burger in the world, but their
Mm.
systems and processes are what landed them as the #1 food franchise in the world. I don't know if that's still true. I'm imagining, but the reality is that it's not about the food itself. And I'm sorry to say that because we all go, well, but you don't know how good I am. I'm really great. It's like, I know, but you're handling all 3 clients with great, with great intensity, but you don't have 300 clients or 3,000 clients because you've never set up the structure around it. So I
Absolutely, and
think,
the business at that point is built on an individual. It's built on you or me as the job owner, if you will. I can
yeah,
never scale that. I can't
no,
take vacation. I can't deal with family emergencies or sickness if something comes up. God help us if that happens. But we don't have that leeway because if
yeah,
we step out when we're in a systemless business and we step out of that role, the business stops. And that means that's the definition of not actually owning a business. We own a job at that
want a
point. And
job.
so systems are absolutely the key to moving us from job owner to true business owner. Something that can carry on without us, is not dependent upon us, and isn't built upon us.
I'll add one more little piece to that because Glenn Sanford, when I first met him, I actually found out that I had met him before. He was part of a program. And he said to me something very flattering because he built this gigantic company. It was growing. It wasn't gigantic yet, but it was really happening. And I met him and said, hey, nice to meet you. He said, I was actually in your program in 2006. And he said, something you said actually helped me create the company that we've got, this EXP company that he's built. And I was like, right, of course. That's a nice flattering thing to say. And he said, no, seriously. He said, you said the purpose of business is to serve the life of the owner. And unfortunately, the way most business people see, he built something that served his life, but he also built something that served the owners within his company. And every agent in his company is an owner. But what's really important about that is when you realize that most of us build a business and we have no connection to how it serves our life. And then we go realize that our life is out of control and we go, I hate my business. And it's not that you hate your business. Your business is what you're passionate about. More than likely, it's your biggest passion. But you've lost your passion because it's taken away your life. And so when you start to realize that if you from the top say, how do I build a business that serves my life? That otherwise I'm not going to be interested. I'm not going to be able to do it long. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna quit. I'm not gonna do it because it's not gonna serve the people that I said I'm working for, the people around me, my family, my closest friends. I mean, the people most important to me.
Mm. And that's ultimately there again. That's what it's all about. It should be, and that's the heart of somebody who's going to grow something big. Part of it is they want to impact people, which happens to be our fourth bucket, people. Right. So let's go there. That was a perfect segue. We did not even rehearse that, but beautiful, beautiful segue. So
We didn't,
people. Now,
yeah, we didn't rehearse any of this, Ben. What part of rehearsal did
this
we have here?
yeah,
That's
what
funny.
is rehearsal? But this is the piece I think where the wheels come off the bus for a lot of people, and it also is the piece that prevents people from building something big because maybe they're intimidated by the process or the thought of having to seek out, hire, train, and retain people. It's just easier if I just keep it to me, right? So
Right.
again, we could teach days-long classes on this, but for the time we have, from a leverage standpoint, how do you see people fitting into that as a component?
Well, I said it early on, kind of in the introduction, and that is no one succeeds alone. We know that there's never been anybody who can say, I built this entire thing by myself. I mean, it's always with others. Today, though, we have a very interesting place that we find ourselves. Technology, and I didn't say as part of systems, technology, but the reality is people that have brought technology stuff to us, that's changing our world. But on a personal level, we have people who are there to serve. Like I can think in my own life, like Allison and I, people that will come to our house and do things. There's so many people that will do things for us. VAs. We've just hired 2 new VAs, one for each of us. And these are not people in the Philippines, although there's something to be done with that, or South Africa or Mexico. I mean, there's a lot of VA companies, and we happen to hire two very high-priced virtual assistants. But the fact is that leverages my time tremendously, because there's things that I spend time doing that I should never be doing. There's things that are seemingly mine to do because nobody else is there, and yet they're not mine to do. Anybody could do those things, right? We had, when we lived in Texas until we moved here in Puerto Rico, we had Blue Apron, and I forget what the other brand was, but we had two, food companies sending us food, pre-measured everything. All we got to do is do a quick cooking job. We could have somebody cook for us. I mean, and again, I don't want to get crazy on this. I'm just saying that we think in terms of, oh, I can't afford those things. And yet, if you're earning the kind of money and you start to realize the value of your time when you do what you do best, then you realize that every time you're not doing that and you're doing something else, you're making those wages instead of what wage you should be making. And I can tell you that when you're doing paperwork, when you're doing order taking, when you're doing the stuff that is not what you absolutely do from a strategic point of view, thinking, if anybody else can do it, they should be. And that's a tough one, because you're right. It's, what did have an old friend, and she used to say, if you don't have an assistant, you are one. And again, that's not putting down an assistant, because they play major roles. It's just to say that if you don't stop acting and doing those things, you're never going to make this kind of executive money, leadership money, the business owner money. You won't have a chance, because you're going to be stuck in things that don't matter.
Well, and as a result of that too, I totally agree. And you're also you're putting a lid on the potential impact you could have on those around you and the world around you too. Because if you're wasting time on trivial things, you're not able to pour energy and effort into your purpose, why you were created and why you're here in this earth. And that hurts everybody. That impacts everybody. So it really, it's a bigger decision than just, I don't want to spend the money or take the time. Like, there's a bigger ripple effect impact that goes out layers and layers and layers around that decision. So, so 4 areas of leverage. Now, what we know is,
did you see what I said? I was like this. Totally.
Hello, I'm glad to be here. Yeah. So that's but that's the whole point, right? It's who are we building in around us? And you watch Glenn in this example, what he's doing. I'm seeing that on the success team right now too. A lot of people have come back that used to be there. They see the energy and the excitement and the vision and what he's doing and who he's bringing onto this team. It's pretty remarkable, and it's also no surprise that his companies are growing at the rate that they are. So, so that being said, part of the growth, and this is the part of the announcement time, which is what I'm or was really looking forward to. This is fun for me because I think there's an opportunity for everybody watching. Now, little caveat here. I don't like when people tell me, oh, I'm not a leader. So this is a leadership conversation. I'm not a leader. Well, that's a bunch of hogwash. Everyone's a leader. Everyone is a leader, just like everyone is a coach. The difference is those who are purposeful are good at what they do, and those who aren't are doing damage to those around them, right? So, so we see an opportunity in this space to create a coaching company. So we have Success Enterprises, Success Magazine, the leader in the personal development space for 124 years, just a little while.
Can you imagine?
And we have the ability and the responsibility to be able to take all of that and put it together, couple it with some incredibly talented people, and come out with a coaching certification program. Now, what do we mean by that? Now, Don, I want to hear your thoughts. My first blush at this, because I'm certified with a couple different agencies to do coaching. This means to anybody watching, regardless of what you do for a living, regardless of what your position is, even if you never decide you want to coach people professionally, guess what? Managers today, leaders today, especially with remote employees, need to understand how to coach, because that's an integral part of leading people in a remote society. Would you agree with that?
I would. In fact, the program that Glenn attended, it was actually called Mega Managing, and it was really about a coach approach to leadership, meaning you got to be a coach. I mean, where's the value? You're raising people up. You're learning how to get the best out of people, with people, collaborating with people. And coaching is a process. It's not management. It's not dictatorship. It's not even, to some degree, it's not just leadership. It's more than that. So I absolutely think that if anybody wants to grow a business, great to become a coach, great to be coached.
So we get to provide that opportunity for people. So we're going to have a coaching certification program. We're going to put more details in the comments below here after the video. But we know it's coming up in April, will be our first one. So this is open to anyone in any walk of life, any industry. It does not matter. This is for people, and from my perspective, and you tell me what I'm missing, but people who want to grow in their ability to impact people, regardless of setting, people who want to leave a legacy and make a mark on people. And in the process of doing those things, they want to hitch their wagon to or associate with the #1 brand in personal development, knowing that's going to get them there faster.
Well, I think that's dead on to be able to be part of a branded community like that, to be able to hang around with a great community of people who are of like mind, who come from that place. I mean, you know, Jim Rohn said it. I guess I heard that today. I kept hearing Jim Rohn said this. I don't know if he did or not, but I've heard it before. And that is, we are the average of the 5 people we hang around, and who we hang around matters. So to be around a community of people. And I would also say, Ben, one thing that kind of, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I'm going to just say that what I also think is powerful is that a lot of people have become coaches that are not coaches. And it's not that they don't want to, it's not that they don't have the heart for it. They don't have the skills for it. And, you know, the idea of coaching, even consulting, I used to say of consultants before coaching came along years ago, I used to say, you know, the consultant was mostly the unemployed or the displaced person who goes, I'm really genius at that thing that I did. I'm just going to be a consultant for it. And that's not totally true. I'm not trying to be insulting to anybody, but a lot of people start their businesses out of necessity like that, right? Doesn't make me a great business owner. It makes me a great, you know, technician or whatever it is I do. And I think that people sometimes in the coaching space have really gotten into it because they must fathom that they're sitting at home in their bunny slippers and they get to earn money from home.
Right, because it's easy, right?
It's easy. Yeah, it's easy. Totally. It's easy. And I think that we really have a chance to put a real professional shot out there and give people a chance to get around a brand that will help them. Marketing, by the way, that's another piece. I'm great at what I do. I'm a great coach. And there are people like that. And they've got like 6 coaching clients. And so they can't make a living at it because they don't have enough marketing. So we want to make it so that we can show people the ropes of how to really become a great coach, to be able to really serve people at the highest levels, to be able to take business people through, or people of all kinds, whether it's business or any other kind of coaching, take them through achievement, take them through success. We have an actual success achievement system, and we coach to that. And then in that, give them a chance to be part of a community, be part of the marketing, be part of all the things that make up a great coaching business. And we're actually looking for coaches to work with us. And then there's people that are going to come and be certified and then work on their own. And that's great. We have no problem with that. Some people like to have more designations so that they can say, hey, I've learned this system and this system and this system. And we want all those people. We want to be able to serve the world through people. And Glenn said to me very clearly, Ben, and I think I've shared this with you, he said, hey, this is only our brand to steward. We're not doing this for us, that we're doing this so we can serve the world. And the reality is we have a chance to have a ripple effect on a lot of people. And I think coaches are one of the places we can do it the most.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So just going through to give everyone last little tidbits of ideas, what you and I talked about. So the key, when I first came in and was talking about the opportunity, the key was, and I had this conversation with you and Glenn both, I see this, the importance of being in the community, right? Because I've been a coach for a number of years, and it's hard being a coach when you're on an island. And so to be able to be in community, and we've got great technology that allows for this, right? And we're going to talk about Success World, where they can download that and come see what that technology looks like. But great place to come in and be in community with like-minded, high-minded, high-achieving coaches to support each other, brainstorm, mastermind, answer questions, just truly walk this road together, because ultimately we're all here to impact other people. So the community is big. We're going to help them learn how to be better presenters and speakers. We're going to help them. You're going to help them with the marketing side on how to get themselves out in front of potential people, because obviously we can only help those that know about us. And so helping them get more awareness with the general public so they can have a bigger impact. And then specifically on the coaching skills side, you and I've been reading through mountains of books, putting together all all of the stuff. Yeah, it's insane. The UPS guy knows my name by heart now because he's here every day delivering books, but really coming up with the nuts and bolts. So we really are providing something to the world where somebody who's never coached before or somebody who's coached for a lifetime, both can come in and both will leave differently than they came. They'll leave with more knowledge, they'll leave with better connections, and they'll be a part of something bigger than them that's impacting people around the world.
I'm not going to ever put down on anybody else's programs because there's so many great people that have contributed to this industry. I would just say that we intend our program to be, best in class, cutting edge in everything that we do. And I really believe that people will be served for being a coach within the system and a coach through our system. And of course, anybody who wants to have a coach these will be like the coolest coaches in the whole world because of what they will be, the system and the way that they'll be operating, the things that they're going to know and the way that we're going to approach things. So yeah, I think it's going to be a golden opportunity. I can't wait. We're already beginning to get clients and we're already beginning to fill the class for people that want to take the certification, and both things are about to blow open.
Absolutely. So if those watching want to reach out, send me an email, ben@success.com. Let me know if you want to be a part of the certification email list for getting all the information about the upcoming course. We'll get that to you. Also, if you want to download Success World, which is the technology platform where our virtual offices are, where our auditoriums are, where a lot of the trainings will be. What's that URL, Don?
Successworlddownload.com.
So successworlddownload.com.
It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind.
Check it out. It doesn't cost anything. You could just go use it, but you'll see one of the pieces of technology that we plan to use to form this community. Also, Don, you guys have something called the Achievers Network. You want to give a plug for that because this is great for anybody to plug into. They're missing out if they don't.
I do, absolutely. So it's the Achievers community, the success community. So it's at achievers.success.com, and go there and sign up and become a member. It's our community in a platform. We didn't want to use Facebook or any of the other social media platforms that were out there, primarily because we didn't want you to be distracted. When you come into this space, it's about personal growth. And when you get into the other spaces, you're going to see, puppies and lunches and celebrations and birthdays and all kinds of fun stuff. It's great, but talk about squirrels and bright, shiny objects. We don't get to where we're going. And we wanted to make sure that this was like where personal development happens. And so our Success World and our Achievers group those communities are both going to be integral parts of this bigger platform that we are building. And by the way, some of the biggest names in the industry are all agreeing to play with us because we are where personal development happens.
It's exciting times, and it's even more exciting if you come on the journey with us. So if you're interested in the certification course, or if you're an established coach, we also have a few seats left for established coaches who want to come on board and help steer this and kind of give us some insight and shape what this becomes over time, because we don't know it all. If you're that person, also email me, ben@success.com. Either way, we're looking to bring as many people on this journey as possible. We hope that you'll join us on that path, and there'll be lots more information coming. Don, any final thoughts?
You said that about the upcoming. We want people who want to be part of our founders group. And what that also means is that next week we are actually having some people come in, and you'll be around some of the best minds in coaching. So if you're interested and you're one of those best minds in coaching, reach out immediately, and let's get it together. Other than that, Ben, it's a pleasure working with you. I can't believe that we were able to get you to join our team and be part of this. I'm always excited about every interaction we have because we think so much alike, and yet we're challenging each other's beliefs, and we're building what I believe is the coaching platform of the world. And I think that we're going to be able to contribute a lot together. So thanks for doing this. This is great. And thanks for being a part of our vision, and everybody who's watching. Thanks for being a part of our vision. It's something that is bigger than any of us individually, for sure.
And that's right where we want to be. So Don, I agree completely. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that watched. Again, ben@success.com. Let me know if you want to be on this ride, and we hope you're all doing well. Be well, everybody. Have a good day.
Be well, everybody. Bye.